Hey guys, Abraham, we're here with the Salmon Homestead and I'm along here with Renee, and we thought today we'd give a little tour of the garden. I'm thinking we're probably doing this for two reasons. Reason number one is, you know what, we've showed you guys some of these things that we've been planting, such as the 30-inch rows, planting the potatoes, putting in the popcorn. And reason number two would be, I don't know if it's maybe selfish for myself, is I want to see how much it's going to grow these 4 or 5 weeks that I'm away from here, from Kimberly and up in Alaska. So we thought we'd take you through, show you how some flowers are looking, dahlias, going on to like tomatoes, peppers, all our different veggies, grapes, things like that. So let's take a tour of our garden. As we're going through the tour, maybe you'll take note that we maybe do not have that typical suburban lot. We have something you can eat almost anywhere in our yard. And why is that? Well, many of you know, but maybe some of you don't know, we are a family of 8, and we like to pull different produce from our garden and use that and have that as food for us to eat at our table. We like to know where our food comes from. We like to know what type of food that is, and this is one way that we can do that. So at the moment, I want to point you out to that we are right in front of our mailbox, and this mailbox area got to turn into this because we had a water leak that went towards our house. You know, sometimes from the road you have a leak, and this is what we were able to do with it. So what do we have going on here? Well, we have some awesome milkweed here going for our monarch butterflies. So that has really taken off. And Renee, what do you like to do with the kids with this?
Yes, so if you have an opportunity to plant the milkweed, it is hours of entertainment. So in a few weeks now, the monarchs will be back, and the kids will start looking on the back side of the leaves for the little white eggs, and we will collect them right off the leaf. We'll take the leaf off, put it in a little cup of water, and watch it hatch into a little tiny caterpillar that will grow in a fish tank. So how many gallon fish tank is that we do?
I think it's like a 20 gallon.
Like a 20 gallon fish tank that we've turned into a little hatching area for our monarch butterflies, and it is so much entertainment for the kids and so good for them, and it's actually helping the monarchs survive because many of the eggs will get eaten by insects, and you know that the pollinators, we need to, you know, try to improve that and help them along a little bit right now. So yeah, lots of entertainment. If you can get some growing in your yard, you and the family will love it. I have aunts, my mother, that they just love doing this. Yeah, the monarchs end up being their little babies that they take care of, and then they release when they're ready.
My proof, of course, that she does this is she takes pictures, and then when I get back from Alaska, then she shows me, hey, we've been doing this many.
What is this guy?
This guy right here is a sea berry. I believe it is supposed to eventually give some type of fruit, but I am not 100% sure. We looked this up a number of years back. We thought it would really be cool to have. So we have a male and a female. One of them's right here. And then if I just cruise up the driveway right here, here is the other one. This one is really more, it's not as structured bushy. It's really, you know, you can see it just falls down on that. So, what else we got going on here? So again, plenty of milkweed going on here, and then we start with we have many dahlias that are right down here. We use some smaller tomato cages / pepper cages to do that, and then right here would be our
the cannas are just starting to come up. right here. So that'll be something that'll bring the hummingbirds in. We'll get to see some hummingbirds then later on when they flower.
And finch as well.
Yeah.
We'll start coming on there. This one here is another gorgeous plant that's going to produce a lot of fruit. I wonder if we, do we have any fruit that we can show and see what it is there? So this guy here is called quince. So this is a victory flowering quince.
Right here. Here we go. Here's
you found some?
There's some.
Oh yeah, right in there.
There's the little babies.
So they will turn complete yellow. You do need a long growing season for them. And again, we have a male and a female. I think we just saw that was, what, male? Male right there. And then right over here will be the female. Female right here. If you notice the difference in the fruit, this one's going to be more of a round fruit. The other one was a little bit more almost like, like pint-size ball, more a little longer style fruit on there. So we haven't totally capitalized on using them yet. We tried some jam last year. It got a little bit too cold before they were ready because you have to let them finish off on the plant.
Right.
So
we did have a friend of ours suggest doing it on like a cheese plate. So do some fancy cheeses, like a Gouda, and then put like the smoked salmon on that board, and then like a little slice of the quince fruit, and that combination, that tart.
Yeah, it's quite woo right there, but it's really got a cool color fruit. And we do a few flowering pots. So here we have some big leaf begonias with a millet grass and
the Goldilocks.
Goldilocks, creeping Jenny. Let me get a closer look at that right there. So we have those scattered out throughout the yard to sort of tie things in. And then since I'm in that angle right there, let me show you the champagne currant. So that's one of the berries they will pick while I'm up in Alaska. We have 3 bushes of that.
You'll get that beautiful like pale pink color.
Yeah. So if you think of what champagne would look like, that's the color of that berry there.
We've made wine out of them, just on cereal even, just by the handful.
Right.
Ice cream.
Yeah. And as we continue on the front of our yard, so we're walking on the sidewalk. So those of you like, how close do we have the sidewalk? Okay, so here I am under our apple tree. And this is a snow sweet apple. And for me, I am approaching this as when I was out in Portland, anything that you could reach from the sidewalk, you could eat. So if someone wants to take an apple from this tree because they can reach it from the sidewalk, I'm all for it. So we have that here, and then we have some, oh man, since we didn't have a late frost, we're gonna have a lot of plums. Let me get in a close shot of a plum there. Right there. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? After a long day, Renee's got to correct me on a bunch of stuff. This is not plums up here. These are our pears. So this is a summer crisp pear right here. So this will be a little bit earlier for us to take. So it might be a good 18 feet up there, but it's doing awesome. Let me go back around our apple tree and come across some more pear. And this guy here, this is our dwarf Parker pear. So let me show you real close there on that guy right there. And what's really awesome with these guys, these pears, we have not done any spraying, what, like 3 years maybe? And they are doing really well. And then this is almost our best one right here. Let me show you this guy here. This guy right here is a red Anjou pear. I don't know, I put it in the mound and it seems to always want to be starting to tilt over, but that guy is starting to get some nice height on it well. So we're pretty pumped that we're going to be able to have some pears. For us, we just like to slice the pears and have the pears. We did do applesauce, pear sauce.
Like a pear sauce, but the texture of it wasn't really, it just wasn't popular with the kids.
Yeah. I'm thinking if anything, maybe we'd try and do slice them up, put them in jars, try and do like a pear style that way might be pretty cool.
Yep.
And, oh yes, we do have a gooseberry that is looking really awesome. This is from our friends down the road. Does a lot of gardening himself, does a great job. So we got a gooseberry from, it was in the improper location. Remember, anything can be a weed if it's in the improper location, so instead of just digging it out, throw it away, he gave it to us.
I mean, look at how, he squeezed in a few tomatoes here. I mean, there's a little space, but I mean, even if you just have a tiny space, you might as well throw something in it that's going to provide food for your family.
So we threw a few brandywine on that side. Again, more milkweed and some daylilies, and remind me again of these sweet smelling, Mama.
Yep, so the peonies are getting to the end here. Yep, the peonies are almost done.
And then a few more tomatoes around the edge. I suppose since I'm on this side, I might as well start it off. So we have a fence that goes along for our public school that goes to their school, and along that fence every post has a different grape. So this one here is Swenson red grape. I didn't do too much pruning 2 years ago, so then last year I decided I'm really gonna hack them out, and I thought I'd probably kill some. That is not the case. These guys are coming in hot and heavy. So basically from there to right here is Swenson red. And then if I walk down next to our potatoes, here we got a Concord grape. If I keep going here is Edelweiss grape. And then I just keep going. Next down here is Vitas Frontenac. And then they just keep flowing down. There's a Niagara, La Crescent, that way. And then down below, sort of more in the shade, we noticed last year that our potatoes were able to do well with the shade from the grapes, because we had them here last year and they are really doing well. These are our white potatoes, and as you can see, they are almost my hip size up. So they are doing extremely well. They're almost getting close to ready to bloom, but our red ones, which we'll show you in a moment, they are blooming already. So Renee is standing. Look what how high her knees are to the sweet corn. Here's our 4 rows of sweet corn, and as you can see, we did about a foot between 2 rows, and then we did a walking path, and then we did 2 more rows.
I think this guy's beneficial.
And Renee's going to show you a nice little ladybug we think is probably a good beneficial bug. And then swinging this way, we have some parsley and what tomato? Oh, mortgage lifter tomatoes along here. We squeezed in some onions in between just because I had onions to go with. And then on the opposite side of the tomatoes, and I hope I didn't do this too wrong, but I put all our peppers. So we have giant Marconi pepper going here. That's these guys right here. And then we work our way up to Trident pepper, this group right here. And then up here is an orange bell, is up here. So, you know, I think, let me point it, there you go. I think they're doing really well. One thing I want to point out with the things that are like on this part of the garden is that if we have spent 5-10 minutes total of weeding in this portion here, that would be it. And why is that? We use silage tarps a little bit last year, and then a lot this March through May when we were going to plant. We really didn't know how things were going to work out. I thought it was going to warm up the soil. I thought it would just make it so that I could plant earlier. Warm up the soil really didn't do too much with it. I had the black part up, white part down, but what it did was it caused the plants to germinate that were underneath any seeds. Remember, a weed is something you don't want, so anything you didn't want, it germinated, and we had hardly any weeds on this side. I'll show you the other side that we've been still working on. Oh, right down here, you look at the flowering of our red potatoes. They've been doing really well here as well. A few broccoli right down here, they're looking really nice. So one thing that we have tried in the yard is when we place things around to take a note of height and texture of things going around. So right here we have an arbor. This arbor has been used for different things such as hanging Christmas lights. We've had rattlesnake pole beans. Planted a few on each side, and they've gone all the way to the top up there. So it's been a lot of fun to have it. We have weeping Norway spruce on either side. They're sort of cool, but have some nice different textures. Here we have some nice texture with the white here. And then as we travel around now we're, we were in the front of the house by the sidewalk. Now we're in the interior. Here we have a whole bunch of dahlias. And here is our tricolor beech. It is a really cool tree. If you've never seen one or even have one in your yard, it's just the different ways the leaf changes. And
it'll go from like a pale pink, right? A pale pink to like, right now it's looking more vibrant in color. That's my all-time favorite tree.
Yeah, and it's done really well.
Yeah. A neighbor of ours had recommended it, and it's beautiful.
Then we have a few perennials here. Again, some more dahlias. Like our dahlias, you can dig them out come winter and put them back in, and then hope you're not surprised, but more milkweed. Working through there, some bachelor button. And then we have some, what are these going to be here again? I forget what will these
gladiolas.
be?
Gladiolas
Okay,
from Grandma Enter.
Down here. And our raspberry here is loving it. This is a yellow raspberry here. And it's really now taken off now that it's had more shade.
Yeah, this is the kids' favorite raspberry, right? It's like
so well,
sweet.
yeah.
It's like
well,
candy.
I'm gone and they're already, they're so. Window boxes with some sun impatiens going on right there. Never grew those before. We thought we'd check them out. Supposedly they should fill that whole spot and just be pretty cool. So now we're back to past the arbor, and again we have some more of those same apple trees going along here. Those apples are looking really nice and awesome. And I've probably on my 4th year now of not spraying, and at the moment I'm okay with that. Like I said, with the pears, there's no marks at all. With the apples, we do have some marking, but we do a lot of applesauce, and that's what the kids really like. So now we're on the other side of the fence, and by the way, you might have been thinking like, why is there like an other side of the fence? Well, that is because we've had deer that like to come into the garden, and so that was there to help keep out the deer. So now on this side here, we love our potatoes, especially for fries. So again, finish off that red row of potatoes. And then here, let me show you a closer look at the onions now. So our onions are looking quite awesome. We started these from seed. And then you do see some dill in between there, and that is because the dill just keeps coming back. So we have not planted dill in a number of years. Then we come across some more of our tomatoes. This is a rainbow mix heirloom tomato. So it's going to be a variety pack along with some Bib lettuce. And then swinging over here, we intermixed, we did 2 rows. So cauliflower, 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 and then in between, let me show you. These have been turning out awesome. We did beets in there as well. Look at those beets down there. So Renee's gonna have a lot of beets to eat while I'm gone. Then that row continues. If I swing through, then it comes up here, and then it starts up with the broccoli. Same thing. We did 2 rows of broccoli in our 30-inch row. And as I was watering tonight, I was like, wait a sec, what's that in between? And there those beets are down there again. So we have some beets that are really coming in really well. And yeah, look at that broccoli head is starting right there. So at the moment, I'm loving the 30-inch row. Renee, what are you thinking? You loving the 30-inch row?
Yeah, I am. I mean, we have a lot of space to grow, and I think it looks beautiful. Everything looks nice and neat and organized.
Then we have some more lettuce. We have some Brussels sprouts right here. Brussels sprouts on the other end of the tomato fence because there's tomatoes going up in there with the lettuce. The white potatoes continue through. And then we have 3 plantings of peas. And each planting of peas is about a week apart. That's still an experiment of growing peas here. I haven't gotten it down yet. I think next year what I would do is, I loved putting the wire over the top because I think the birds were stealing the flowers for the start. But we need a higher wire so that we bring up the mesh. So the mesh, see, let me show you here. The mesh is growing, or the peas are growing through the mesh now. But it really did help. So they are going to have quite a few peas when that timing does happen. And now we're to the back of the house, and now, you know what, I knew we had plums, and now I'm going under our superior plum. We have not had too much success with plums. However, I love how the plums branches just come out and structurally go. It is really cool. So on this side, right behind, this whole row is Concord grape, the original that was in this. This was an apple tree orchard before houses started to build in this area, and some grapes. And someone was going to do a shed, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna build a shed here. We're gonna cut these grapes down. Do you want to take some?" So I did some cuttings off those grapes, and that's these grapes, and they just do awesome. And then, for some of you who had seen the video on me doing popcorn and doing a 30-inch row for popcorn, here they are. Now they have had a few struggles in there. One is we've had a few rabbits get out, so they've nibbled off some of the when they were little, and the cats. The cats love to climb things, and in loving to climb stuff, they sometimes try to pull them down, so I am trying to set them up. We do have some red currants underneath our grapes on this side. It is not the best. It's a little bit too tight. Those currants should have a little more sun, but we do try it with the space we have. That little space we added this year is a little raised bed right here for some more peppers, and a vine plant as well in there. Here's black currant. Mostly do some wine out of that guy there. Pond has been doing really well. We just pulled today the charcoal that we had taken from when we had done sap to maple syrup. We had that sitting in some big onion bags. We just pulled that out today, so that can start to dry because now it has that awesome pond nutrient in, and that's what I have then sitting right here in the wheelbarrow. So I'm just having it dripping and draining, and then eventually we'll sort of put it down and make it a little smaller chunk and add that in as our amendments to our soil. I'm trying to think, is there anywhere else we want to take them before we take them into like the, I forget what you call that when you go through a garden and then it's like you're into a whole different, wasn't there like a book like that or something?
Like the secret garden?
The secret garden, yes, before we take you into the secret garden. I guess as I'm swinging here, we have our maple syrup sap maker right over there. We have our rabbits. Kids have their rabbits here. The kittens are still running around wherever. It might be a little less vibrant. We have, our chickens were over there. We're not even going to show you that spot over there. But if you've been watching Out at the Acres and us moving them out there, the Eggmobile, you've seen where they have moved. So I think probably last year we'll just take them through our little secret space here, and I'll have you lead me through, and here we go. So this has grown up quite much in the last 4 or 5 years. Going in is the part that's the most work because the branches are facing you. Then we come out into this little spot where we have another raised bed. And in this raised bed here, let's see if we can get us both in there. There we go. In this raised bed right here, this has our kohlrabi. They're about almost baseball size kohlrabi going right now. And then so we did 4 kohlrabi and then 4 onion, 4 kohlrabi through the whole thing. The kohlrabi are doing awesome. The onions are not that big, and I don't know what's gonna happen. They may just be in too much shade, probably now. But it is sort of cool to say that you have like this little part of the yard that's like, who can say they have like a spot that's almost hidden, and you got the pond going right here, but that's if you need some kohlrabi, this is where they would be. So, well, I hope you enjoyed watching the little tour of the garden, and I know we enjoyed showing it to you, and I personally am enjoying walking through it one more time before I head out to Alaska here, and looking forward to seeing how tall things get and how much she's taken out since I've left. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I just really want to encourage people to look at their yard a little bit differently, and not the traditional grass yard, but try to think about how you can, maybe grow things, and if you've got kids or grandkids at home, how you might teach them a little bit along the way. Mm-hmm. Even our pond is loaded with frogs, and it's got some fish in it, and just really, you can do a lot, even in town.
It's a play. The kids love trying to catch the frogs and then put them back, and we just use the water to make our charcoal nutrient proper. Mm-hmm. And when we do our soil blocks, the pond water is what I use to water.
Yeah.
So the pond is a great source for entertainment and great use to grow in your garden as well. And I don't know, for us, we do like the sound of the pond as well. So and you can do this. You want to grow something, you can do it. Even if you are in town, even if you're in an apartment, you could figure out something. Mm-hmm. If you have some light and a little balcony. There's a lot you can do. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope your garden is doing well, and possibly this is an inspiration for your garden, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.